Tyrannosaurus rex. Also known as T-Rex, it moved through the late Cretaceous landscapes of North America as one of the most dominant predators of its time. Its presence alone could shift the behavior of other animals nearby. It walked on strong hind legs, each step steady and controlled, carrying a massive body built for power rather than endurance. The head remained its most defining feature, held forward and balanced by a heavy tail, always alert to movement in the distance. Its jaws were large and heavily built, lined with thick, serrated teeth designed to do more than cut. When it fed, it could crush through bone, accessing parts of a carcass that most predators could not. This gave it an advantage, allowing it to extract more energy from every kill. It did not need to hunt constantly, and this likely shaped how it used its environment. At times, it may have followed scent trails or watched from a distance, waiting for the right moment rather than rushing into every opportunity. The landscape it lived in was not empty. Other large animals moved through the same spaces, and competition was always present. T-Rex had to remain aware, adjusting its movements based on what it encountered. Even as a top predator, it could not afford injury. A single mistake could mean weakness, and weakness could mean loss. Its small arms remained close to its body, rarely involved in feeding, while the real work was done by the head and neck. When it committed to an action, it did so with full force. In a world shaped by survival, it held its position not through speed, but through control, timing, and overwhelming power. Before we move on, if you're enjoying the video, drop a like and tell me your favorite part in the comments. It helps way more than you think. Thanks for the support. Triceratops. Triceratops was one of the largest horned herbivores of the late Cretaceous. It could reach around 30 feet in length and had a heavy, low-built body designed for defense rather than speed. Its most important feature was its skull. It was one of the biggest of any land animal. It had two long brow horns and a shorter nose horn. Behind them was a wide bony frill that protected the neck and made the head look even larger and more threatening. In terms of size, it was comparable to a modern elephant. Similar in mass and bulk, but built with a stronger focus on protection. It lived in a harsh environment where survival required constant alertness. Even while feeding on low plants, it stayed aware of movement around it. Fossils show bite marks on Triceratops bones. This suggests real encounters with large predators. When threatened, it did not run immediately. It lowered its head and pointed its horns forward. This created a strong defensive stance, turning its body into a shield. It was not a hunter. It was a survivor built for endurance. Strong, heavily built, and difficult to take down. Spinosaurus. Spinosaurus was one of the most unusual dinosaurs of the late Cretaceous, living in river systems and wetlands of what is now North Africa. Unlike most large predators, it was closely tied to water, moving through shallow rivers where survival depended on both land and aquatic adaptation. It was among the longest carnivorous dinosaurs, reaching over 40 feet in length. Its body was elongated with a stretched torso and tail, giving it a very different shape compared to other large theropods. Its skull was long and narrow, with a crocodile-like snout filled with straight, conical teeth. These were built to grip slippery prey rather than tear flesh, allowing precise control when hunting in water. A tall sail rose from its back, formed by elongated spine bones. Its purpose is still debated, possibly linked to display or temperature regulation, but it made Spinosaurus instantly recognizable. Fish formed the core of its diet. It likely hunted by snapping into the water with quick, controlled movements, while also feeding on other aquatic animals. Hunting land prey was possible, but limited. Spinosaurus relied on positioning and sudden strikes rather than speed. It was a specialist, built for water, thriving in a niche few predators could occupy. Stegosaurus. Stegosaurus was a large herbivorous dinosaur from the late Jurassic. It had a slow, heavy body built close to the ground, making it stable but not fast. Its brain was very small, so it relied more on instinct than complex behavior. It survived mainly through physical defenses rather than speed, often depending on its size and structure to stay safe. The large, thin, bony structures along its back were not solid armor and were likely covered in skin and blood vessels. They may have helped with temperature control and visual display, making the animal appear larger to others. The four sharp spikes at the end of its tail acted as its main weapon against predators. The tail could swing with strong force, and fossil evidence suggests these spikes were used in real fights when threatened. Its body was wide and heavy, with stronger hind legs than front legs, giving it a sloped posture. Its small head and short neck limited feeding height, keeping it focused on low plants. It fed on low-growing plants like ferns and cycads, using simple teeth that were not suited for chewing tough material. Instead, it likely swallowed food and relied on digestion to break it down efficiently. It lived in forests and floodplains with plenty of ground vegetation, sharing its environment with large predators. Fossils found in North America since the late 1800s revealed its unusual structure and helped scientists understand how it lived. Velociraptor. Velociraptor was a small carnivorous dinosaur from the late Cretaceous, living around 75 million years ago in what is now Mongolia. It was much smaller than often imagined, about the size of a turkey, with a lightweight body built for speed and agility. Its long legs and stiff tail helped it balance while moving quickly across open ground. It likely hunted small animals and scavenged when possible, using sharp teeth and quick movements to capture prey. One of its most important features was a curved claw on each foot, which it likely used to grip and pin struggling prey rather than slash. Evidence from fossils shows it had feathers, making it more similar to modern birds than reptiles in appearance. Its arms were relatively long and may have helped stabilize prey during attacks. Velociraptor lived in dry, desert-like environments with shifting sands and limited vegetation. A famous fossil shows it locked in combat with a Protoceratops, supporting the idea that it actively hunted other animals. Its intelligence is often exaggerated, but it likely had decent awareness and hunting instincts for its size. Overall, it was a fast, feathered predator built for precision rather than brute strength. Ankylosaurus. Ankylosaurus was a large herbivorous dinosaur from the late Cretaceous of North America. It had a low, wide body covered in thick armor made of bony plates and spikes. It measured around 6 to 8 meters in length, stood about 1.5 to 2 meters tall at the hips, and weighed roughly 6 to 8 tons. Its short, strong legs supported its heavy weight while its body stayed close to the ground, giving it a stable and defensive posture. It fed on low-growing plants, using a beak-like mouth to clip vegetation and small teeth to process it. One of its most important features was a heavy tail club, formed from fused bone, which it likely used to defend itself against predators. This club could deliver powerful blows, capable of injuring even large attackers. Its armor also included small bony nodules embedded in the skin, adding extra protection across its back and sides. Ankylosaurus lived in environments with dense vegetation, where food was easy to reach but danger was always present. Fossil evidence shows it shared its habitat with large predators like Tyrannosaurus, making its defensive adaptations essential for survival. Its brain was relatively small, but it had strong awareness suited for its environment. Overall, it was a heavily armored herbivore built to withstand attacks rather than escape them.